All right, what are we talking about?
We're going to baseball.
Yes.
All right, you up.
Because we are the definitive MLB show here on Fox Sports Radio.
No doubt.
Got a podcast nobody listens to, but we talk about it.
Rob G.
1,000%. ESPN.
Maybe if we do some pimple popping and hair wash.
Maybe we might.
All right.
Maybe we might. But hey, listen.
Disgusting.
ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan. I think he's a friend of yours, Rob. I think he's talked to your class a couple times.
Yes, he has. Absolutely.
I would say he's a friend of the show, but he doesn't come on the show. In any event, he
can't come on the show.
I know he
you
can't,
know that.
but we like him. Published a long-form piece on Thursday discussing the labor discussions between MLB owners and the Players Association. According to Passan, nearly every owner believes that baseball needs a salary cap because they believe it would, one, immediately juice the franchise values because the labor costs would be fixed and it would be lower than some other teams. And number two, and to them most importantly, they believe it's the only pathway to competitive balance is to have a salary cap. In fact, according to Passan, one high-ranking team official said, quote, if they are not getting their salary cap for the next CBA, quote, they are ready to burn the effing house down. Passan suggests that if that happens, we could have a lockout for the first time, or excuse me, the worst labor war since 1994, of course.
But we haven't had one since then.
But if you recall, Rob, and listeners of the show will know this, the World Series was canceled that year for the first time in 90 years. So if Passan's right and this executive is right, they're willing to pull the plug on everything in Major League Baseball.
I'm going to say this. And a couple of years ago, I think it might have been before 2020, remember, before there was a labor deal. That was the last one.
Uh-huh.
And people thought, oh, that was the COVID, that it wasn't going to happen. And remember, there's been a long labor piece with baseball. Prior to that, every 4 or 5 years there was stoppage.
Right.
Or the season started late, or they missed some games, lockout, players. There was always a fight, okay? And since 94, they got it. After they took away the World Series from fans, baseball had to pay. People were so mad, and it took the home run chase by Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa to bring people back to baseball. Like, for all the stuff that they rip on those guys and the juice and all that, that saved baseball.
100%.
You remember that?
Well, that's why they turned a blind eye.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
That saved baseball.
100%.
ESPN used to break in
Yep.
and show their at-bats. I don't care what was on. They would break in, and here's Mark McGwire coming up. Here's Sammy Sosa coming up. Every at-bat was on ESPN.
And you can keep that going for another couple of years with Barry Bonds, too.
Exactly. So I do not, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, my God, nothing's going to happen, whatever, and I get what's at stake. But do you see, and we talk about it more than anybody on national radio, the resurgence of baseball, the last 5 years especially. You got the Dodgers that are the evil empire. People, you need you need a villain.
Yeah.
They're the villain.
Yep.
You got all these other good teams. You got teams that are making it to the World Series. They're not all the big markets. The Texas Rangers won a World Series. It kind of negates or talks about, you're talking about competitive balance. We just brought it up the other night. The last 10 years, baseball has had more different champions than the NFL, which is the parity league, right? Supposedly the parity league. More teams have been in the championship in baseball than in the NFL. 13 teams, different teams, in the last 10 years, and only 9 in the NFL.
Yeah, we got that, actually.
You remember that?
Yeah, there's those numbers. I'll get them for you.
Yep.
Keep going. Yep.
And my point is, we just saw a World Series that didn't have a second American team in it. The ratings were what, Kelvin? Through the roof. Without the Toronto and Canada numbers, TV numbers, because they don't count for the American television ratings.
You undersold baseball, by the way.
What was it?
So since the turn of the century, more MLB franchises have won championships, 16, than in the NHL, 14, NFL, 13, NBA, 12.
And those other leagues have the salary cap.
Yeah.
So we know that. The Yankees haven't won since 2009. The Mets, who had the highest payroll last year,
didn't make the playoffs
and haven't won since 1986.
Yep.
So when I hear all this, it sounds good. Everybody's on the same bay. Everybody's got Kansas City has the same payroll as the Yankees. Really? Really? Guess what? The Kansas City Royals have won a World Series more recently than the Yankees.
Then they go to 2?
Yeah.
They won one. Yeah. No, listen, you're 1,000% correct. We've talked about this a million times. Baseball, you don't know who's going to win. It doesn't matter if you have a bunch of players on your team. A team can get hot at the right time.
The Dodgers were 1 or 2 outs away from not winning this past year.
And the Dodgers had been winning but never winning at all for a handful of years. They kept getting there but not winning at all. So it doesn't matter. We talked about the Rangers. We talk about the Angels. We talk about the Nationals. We talk about the Royals.
The Diamondbacks
the Tigers
have been
to like 3 or 4 World Series in the last 10, 15 years. So that's what makes this amazing in baseball is that it doesn't matter necessarily. Now, I think also they're trying to do what we talk about is that floor. They're trying to bring up some teams that have in the last 10 years only spent like $300 million, where you got some teams currently spending $300 million a year. So they're trying to find that balance of a salary cap and a salary floor. So some teams have to spend more, and some teams obviously you're gonna, this is the max you can spend. I'm not exactly particularly sure why they feel like there's a competitive advantage so drastically that they're willing to sell out baseball and cancel games again, and
especially
cancel World
where
Series.
We are.
When baseball is in its best spot, we talk about it. You fixed all the analytical stuff, right? Where everything was a home run or nothing. Okay,
they made the rule changes.
Made the rule change. The line shift, you can't do it. Sped up the pitching clock. Got rid of the juice balls from a handful of years ago. And now you're in a great place. You got stars. You got the Shoheis of the world. You got the Aaron Judges of the world.
Got the young players
coming up. You got the Yankees, Dodgers in the World Series. You got a 7-game World Series this past. Why ruin that and burn the mother lover down or whatever they said they would do? I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It would be suicide. It would just be, fans would be so pissed because baseball, the TV numbers are up, the streaming numbers, and those are good.
The ticket gate.
The ticket gate, they sell over 70 million tickets for baseball season.
Why ruin that right now?
It's just, it doesn't make sense to me to do that in this situation. I think I can't see it. And I'm gonna be the optimist. I'm gonna be the optimist that they figure it out, because the last time was, I think, prior to 2020, and they were in the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They didn't think there was going to be a season, and they weren't going to be able to figure it out, for the COVID year, and they got it together, and they figured it out. And I think they're going to figure it out here. They got this year. We'll see how this year plays out. If there's another banner year, man, the union, I get it. They're the toughest union in this country, but you don't want to really hurt yourself long term and then have you stay out and miss a season or two. I'm sorry, it's going to be hell.
I just don't get why you would do it right now while the NBA's down.
Yeah,
struggling as far as I know they got the big social media numbers, but guys,
people are
out on it a little bit. Football's it's a behemoth, but you have a chance to continue. You saw hockey used to be one of the big four. Now hockey's faded down so long. You're not guaranteed, and there's no guarantee fans will come back. That's not in this day and age with social media distractions and stuff. There's no guarantee so you don't want to lose that steam and momentum. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.